You're not making the money that you should be making, and I can tell you that right now. It's not because of anything you think it is. It's not your marketing, it's not your strategy, it's not the economy, it's not the product that you're selling. It's something far deeper than any of that. And it's been quietly deciding what you're allowed to earn your entire life. And the longer it stays hidden, the income ceiling stays exactly where it is. Now, I spent years grinding away, trying every single strategy, every marketing approach, working harder than anyone I knew, and still the results never matched the effort that I was putting in. Now, I'd have a good month, and then what happened? It would drop back down. And for a long time, I believed that the problem was on the outside. The wrong business, the wrong timing, the wrong strategy, the economy. I just hadn't found the right thing yet. But here's what I did figure out eventually. The problem wasn't out there, it was in here. Growing up in a small town in Bedford, I absorbed beliefs about money that I didn't even know that I had. That money was hard for me to come by, that wealth was for other people, and wanting too much money made you greedy. Those beliefs were everywhere, in every conversation around me, what I watched, what I heard, in the environment that I grew up with. And by the time I started my very first business, those beliefs are already installed and already running the show behind the scenes, subconsciously underneath everything else, and I didn't even know it was there. That was the scary part. Now here's the thing that nobody tells you. Your subconscious mind is actually responsible for around 95% of your daily behavior. Think about it, 95% of everything you do is automatic. And that means the decisions that you make, the prices that you charge, the clients that you attract, the opportunities that you say yes or no to. Now most of that isn't being driven by your conscious mind. It's not being driven by your conscious thinking, by positive thinking. It's being driven by a set of beliefs that were formed way before you're even old enough to question them. Now, I didn't fix my income by finding better strategies, by doing more marketing. I fixed them by finding the actual blocks that were there hidden underneath all of that strategy. So I went from being stuck at $2,500 a month to hitting my first 9K day, then my 26K month, then 100K months, then all the way up to 500K months. And I want you to really hear this, because none of that came from a new strategy, a new ads angle, a different marketing, a different product, a different service, a different environment. It came from moving those subconscious blocks that had been sabotaging everything that I was doing. And good news for you, that's exactly what this video is about. I'm Mindy, founder and CEO of Mind, Money and Business. That's my training company where I've helped business owners add an extra $100 million of revenue into their businesses across more than over 87 different industries globally. And in every single case, without exception, the biggest breakthroughs that my clients have ever had didn't come from a new strategy. They came from removing what was blocking them underneath. Now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those blocks look like and where they come from and how to remove them in just 3 shifts. So let's get into it right now. Shift number 1, from looking on the outside to looking inside and understanding what's actually blocking your income. Now listen, it's not a lack of skill set, it's not a lack of knowledge strategy. It's a set of subconscious beliefs that have been formed in early childhood. Now I want you to think about it. Maybe you're in an industry right now where you know someone in the same town selling the same product to the same people. One person gets rich and the other one doesn't. Now I want you to think about it. Maybe that's you right now. You know other people in your industry are doing way better than you. And you say to yourself, hey, how can they be doing so much better than me? I've been doing this longer than them. I've got more experience than them. But why have they come along and crushed it with less experience? Now guess what? The reason is they think differently about themselves versus what you do. Now, I'm not just talking about consciously how they think about themselves on the conscious level. It's the deep-rooted beliefs they have on the subconscious level. I remember hearing a story from one of my mentors. He goes, he used to go and get his hair cut in one barbershop. And right next door, there was another barbershop. And guess what? Same location, selling the same service to the same people, same audience. They've both been there a long time. One's shop was always busy. You had to wait 40 minutes, an hour to get a haircut. Whilst the other one, you could just walk in, get your haircut and go. Now, it doesn't mean to say the busier one was better than the other one. The only difference is that the person who had the busy shop had a different concept. They had an image of always seeing their business full, always seeing customers there. Whilst on the left-hand side, the other barber who was struggling, he had an image that was always seeing his chairs empty. Subconsciously, he never believed that he'd have enough business. So that's the image in his mind. In our subconscious mind, we work with images. So your business is reflected by the images that you have in your subconscious mind. And that's exactly what we project out. And that's exactly what we attract back. So it's not about hard work. It's about what that person's beliefs are. Now, I remember when I first got into business, I had a belief that I can only get so far. I could never see myself with more than X amount of money in my account. I could never imagine it. And when I tried to, nothing would happen. But here's the thing, I can only attract what I could imagine. What I could imagine was based upon my subconscious beliefs about myself, and that's why I could never get past that. So what is your subconscious beliefs telling you about your income? What's the most level that you've ever got up to in any single month? Your best month ever. This is why most business owners can't consistently have good months. The moment they have a good month, their subconscious mind kicks in, their identity kicks in and pulls the money back down. Say, well, listen, you're not a 10K month earner, you earn between 5 and 6. That's exactly the reason why you're never able to consistently hit that new record number. That's why I always say there's 2 levels to your income. There's one point your income never drops below, and there's another part it never gets above. And why is that? That's based upon your subconscious beliefs. And when it does drop down, it soon comes back up to match the highest level. Make sense? So where did those beliefs actually come from for you? Can you remember some early childhood conversations about growing up around money, maybe about yourself? What did you believe about yourself? That money doesn't happen to people like us. I can't get rich, other people can. I'm not smart enough. What is it for you? So those earlier moments formed your reality, your relationship to money. They already formed how much money that you can earn. This is why it's not about your skill set, it's about what's been going on behind the scenes for many, many years. And this is why most entrepreneurs never actually find this block, because it doesn't feel like a block. It feels like their reality, and they try to work harder, longer, spend more money on marketing, advertising, grinding away, and they can't break through by brute force. And this is when you do break through slightly, is never consistently. So how can you recognize this in your own life, in the way you price your services, in how much money that you earn? Now this is going to happen over and over again, regardless of what strategy you follow, no matter how hard you work. So why not stop looking on the outside now and start looking on the inside and start asking yourself questions. Well, why am I stuck here? What do I believe about money? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about my own ability to earn money? Now, before we go into shift number 2, if this is already hitting home for you, I put together a 5-day challenge. Now, there's a link in the description below where you can register for your seat right now. Now, over the 5 days, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to identify and actually start removing those blocks that have been holding you back and your income for years, so you can finally start scaling a business that serves you and your family well. So make sure that you hit the link below and register for your seat for the 5-day challenge. So let's dive into shift number 2. Understand exactly how the block is running your business right now. How the block shows up in your pricing. You want to know how that shows up? Now I want you to think about a price that you charge. Now there's a reason why you charge that price. Now a lot of people make this common mistake. They go find their competitors and find out what they're charging, and they price themselves accordingly. Let's just say that your competition charges $100 for this service. Now the person who charges $100 for this service, who you've researched, has a very low self-esteem. They don't really believe in themselves, and they don't believe that they can charge more and that people will actually pay them. So what they do is they go set their pricing based upon what they believe they can earn. So what happens is you go mirror their prices, right? You go mirror their prices based upon what that person believes they can charge. What happens? You got your prices, someone else comes along and sees your prices without any knowledge of why you're charging. They just say, I want to be competitive, I don't want to price myself out of the market, I don't want to be too expensive. And what happens? You priced yourself based upon someone who didn't believe in they can actually charge more without any conscious awareness, and you set your prices. Now guess what? What if that person set their prices higher? But here's the thing, they wouldn't set their prices higher because they subconsciously didn't believe that someone would pay them that much. Now, you're only going to ever get someone to pay you what you subconsciously think that you're worth. Now, this is why you may see other people in business, in your industry, that charge way more than you, and they get way more clients than you. But when you try to charge more prices, your clients resist. You're too expensive. And yet you see other people charging more money. And to me, that used to blow my mind, that how does this happen? I finally realized that every single business owner has a subconscious program. Every single business owner has a belief what they can charge for the service. Every business owner has a belief what someone will pay them. Now, if I just said to you, hey, listen, you charge $1,000 for this, go charge 5,000. You'd never do it because you don't believe that you could charge 5,000. Now, if you worked with me inside my inner circle, which I'm not pitching by the way, if you work with me inside my inner circle, I will show you how to remove those blocks. Now, every layer that we remove, your price goes up, your belief goes up, and that's when you start to attract other clients who match what you believe about yourself. Next time you see a business, someone that you know maybe starts a business, closes it down, starts a business, closes it down, it's not the business that's a problem. It's not the location, but they find things to blame. Oh, it was a location, it was this. Okay, but how comes the past 5 businesses that you started in the last 10 years have all failed? They can't all be wrong, can they? It's that person's belief, the identity of what they believe they can do. And the reality is always going to match the subconscious identity. I hope that answers a real question that you probably had for a long, long time. It's those subconscious blocks that are sabotaging all that money coming towards you because you haven't magnetized yourself to them by changing your belief systems. That's how you attract higher paying clients, by you removing those belief systems. So let's hit shift number 3. Remove the blocks that have been quietly controlling your income for your entire life. And then watch everything change. A great way to reveal what your subconscious mind actually believes about money. Now this is a funny story. I was speaking to somebody yesterday and I asked them about their relationship to money. And they said, you know what, Mindy, I've got a great relationship to money. I said, well, what do you believe about money? Because I believe that money comes to me freely and abundantly. Then he went on to contradict himself. He said something like, X, Y, and Z's happen, and now, my money's dried up. I said, okay, so you believe that you've got a good relationship to money. You believe that you attract money consistently and abundantly. He goes, yes, I do. And I said, now, you just told me that your money's dried up and you have no more money. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills. He goes, yeah. I said, well, you've just contradicted yourself in exactly what you said. So you're trying to believe two opposite things. One is that money comes to me freely. On the second hand, I'm skint. So I want you to think about, there's two levels of belief. One is a conscious belief. I believe that I have a good relationship to money. But when you look in the bank account, when you look at how much money actually comes in versus going out, and if what comes in versus what's going out is less, you've got more going out than coming in, that just shows you that you've got a negative relationship to money. When you have a good relationship to money, you always have more money than you need. You always have surplus. Now think about it. Question your beliefs around money. Do you believe that you have an abundance of money, or do you believe that there's a lack? It will show up in your account. It will show up in what you've got readily available at all times. An iceberg, you've seen the iceberg, right? Most of the iceberg is actually below the sea level, and only the tip is at the top. 95% of the iceberg you can't even visibly see. So this person here believed that on the top level that they had lots of money, but the program behind the scenes, right in the depths, was a different story. And that part is what controls the top part. Okay, it's a subconscious mind that controls everything in your life, how much money shows up, how much you charge, how much stays with you, how much profit you make. It's all down to your subconscious mind about what you believe you can have. This is why you have a few good months and all of a sudden, bam, whack, they come back down because your subconscious mind has caught up with your identity. That's how it happens. So around 90 to 95% of your results are subconscious, meaning that you have no idea how you're forming your results. So your money is controlled by your subconscious mind. It's not controlled by hard work. It's not controlled by effort or expertise, right? It's controlled by what you believe you can earn. So unless you change what you truly believe you can earn in that section of the subconscious mind, you're always going to achieve whatever you're achieving. So this is why most people go through life, their income never shoots up drastically, because their subconscious mind hasn't been altered to match the new desired result they want. How is that showing up in your life? When was the last time you actually earned more money consistently? Every single month it went up. This is why you always have that ceiling and you come back down. You hit that ceiling, you come back down. The moment you go past that ceiling, it's always very temporary, and something always happens to bring it down to hit that ceiling. Makes sense, right? One of my clients in a recent interview that we did with them, Lucky and Sambad, they shared with us that they grew up being told that money was the root of all evil and people with a lot of money weren't good. So what were some of the beliefs that you grew up around money?
Well, the traditional stuff where you don't really talk about it much.
Yeah,
you don't talk about
that.
one's income.
You don't talk,
Money is the root of evil, in the sense that the people that do have money, they're not the best of people. And now you realize, obviously, money don't define people. It defines how you live your life and what you're able to do in life.
Lucky, what about yourself? What did you learn about money growing up?
To be honest, exactly the same as what Sam had just said. Just kind of negative towards it.
Now, she'd been carrying this belief her entire life without actually realizing it. It was sitting underneath 10 years of grinding, barely covering costs in their business, and actually burning herself out. Now, once that belief was identified and removed inside of our inner circle, her business went from 4,000 a month turnover to 25K in profit every single month in just 7 months with working with me. That's how powerful the subconscious mind is. When you first came to me, tell us, what was it you're at?
Turnover only about £4,000. More was going out than what was coming in.
So out of that $4,000, sometimes you're probably not left with anything.
We were left with nothing.
Do you mind sharing where you're at right now?
25,000 profit a month.
In a matter of what, 7 or 8 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's life changing.
Now here's the thing, we didn't work on a strategy. We didn't change her industry. We didn't change her location. All we did is help her remove her money blocks, and everything else clicked into place. That's how money works. In just a matter of months, that's a quantum leap she had after 10 years of trying the hard way, because the subconscious mind was in full control of the income. It wasn't the industry, it wasn't the clients, it wasn't the equipment, It was a subconscious block. Now imagine what life and business would look like for you on the other side of removing those blocks. Imagine how much more time freedom you can have. Imagine how much more money you'd have. Imagine how much more fun you'd have on the other side. Maybe that vision board that you got pinned up on your wall, you begin to manifest that. And this is why people are not able to manifest, because all they do is sit there, visualize with their eyes closed, meditating and do their morning affirmations. If that subconscious block's there, that is going to block all the things that you're trying to manifest. So if you want to manifest all those great things, you've got to remove the subconscious money blocks. Otherwise, nothing changes, period. So now let's just bring this all together in a full circle. The reason that most entrepreneurs are not making the money they should be has got nothing to do with their marketing, strategy, economy, or location, or how hard they work. It's got everything to do with a set of subconscious beliefs that are running behind the scenes that are controlling the money. So no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you grind, no matter how much experience you've got, if those money blocks are still there, your income is already predictable for the next 5 years until you remove those money blocks. The 3 shifts that we covered today. Shift number 1, from looking on the outside to looking on the inside, because the block isn't external, it's a set of internal subconscious beliefs that are controlling your income. And shift number 2, understanding exactly how the blocks are running your business right now, because it's showing up in your pricing, your clients, the decisions that you're making every single day, what you tracked into your life, and it's doing it without your knowledge, without your consent. It's doing it automatically. So let's put a stop to it. And shift number 3, to actually remove the blocks that have been quietly deciding your income ceiling for your entire life. Because once you identify them and start removing them through consistent daily practice, the ceiling moves and you can finally start living the life that you want. You can finally start scaling the level that you want. You can finally start earning the money that you really want. I spent years trying to fix it on the outside, but the moment I fixed it on the inside, everything changed, and it will for you too. If you found this video valuable, you're gonna love this next one right here. Most people stop at awareness and their income never actually changes. So if you're serious about breaking that money ceiling, then this video right here will show you actually how to train your brain to make the money consistently. So go watch it right now and I'll see you on the inside.